Hi, it's ARelaxedGal, and I wanted to share with you my latest relaxer touch-up update. Yes, I finally got a relaxer. It's been a while. I actually had to look back. I was thinking, how many relaxers have I gotten this year? This is actually number 3. It's been a while since I got one. I got one in August, and since then I've just kind of been letting things go. Partially because of some issues I've been having. It's no secret. I had shared a post actually in August, I think right around the time I got my touch-up, either right before or right after. And I had been experiencing some breakage that I think came from one of the stylists that I had gone to earlier this year, back in February. I had been looking for a stylist since I moved here to Florida a couple years ago and had not been able to find one that wasn't against me going longer than 6 weeks between my relaxers, and to actually understood what I meant when I said I'd like to have some texture in my hair and I don't want it to be too straight. The stylist I went to at the beginning of this year, she I believe, and I actually had that belief, I think, actually confirmed that she had overprocessed my hair. It was too straight. It was straighter than I would have liked, and I was starting to have some breakage after that visit. So I tried another stylist who I went to in August. I said, let's try something different. Let's do a consultation. Let's have her touch my hair and look at my hair, and we talk about products and talk about what I want to do with my hair goals, and did all that. Went to her. The touch-up wasn't very pleasant. I felt like sick during the touch-up. I was not very happy. And then my hair just felt flatter and looked flatter and just thinner than I would have liked. I still had a lot of body, still had a lot of hair, and just there wasn't any, the breakage didn't seem to get any better. It seemed to either get a little bit worse. So I said, maybe I just need to stop relaxing. Maybe this is just the sign that it's like, you know what, let's go to natural. Because I know I'm going to go natural once I start having a lot of gray hair, because I don't want to color and do a relaxer. So I know at some point it's going to happen. I was like, maybe it's time. It's time to just do it. So I went back to that stylist and said, hey, I know you do keratin and amino treatments. So which one do you think would be best for my hair? Which one do you think I should do? She said amino, which I was like, well, she maybe knows what she's talking about. Because it was the cheaper of the two, so she's not just in it totally for the money. So I had the treatment done. It took forever, and it wasn't because the treatment takes forever. It was just because she was just not focused on my head at all. She had her baby there, so she was feeding the baby. She was taking care of the baby. She had another customer there, so I was there forever. It was not a good experience. But I was like, the hair looked okay. It was a little flatter and straighter than I would have liked, but I was like, hey, it's going to revert a bit anyway, so we're fine. So I went home, and probably the next day later, I started noticing my edges were curling back up, and then by the end of the week, it was like I never had anything done to it. And she had said it should last about 4 weeks as long as I use sulfate-free shampoos. I mean, it lasted like 1 week, and I only washed my hair once during that time. It was ridiculous. I was like, it was not worth the money at all. So, I was just kind of also like, I'm done with the stylist. I've tried 2 different things with her and nothing seems to have worked. So I was like, maybe I'm just done with stylist and it's time to just cut it all off. So I went through, several months before I was like, okay, you know what, let's look for another stylist. Let's try it one more time. And let's also try to find a stylist where it's like, hey, if I say let's just cut it off and let's do the natural thing, then she can take care of my hair too. So the first thing I was like, well, let's talk about Brazilian blowouts. So I did go to various stylists, asked them about Brazilian blowouts. They were all like, yeah, that'd be great. You can do that, totally. And then I went to another stylist, and she was like, what's your curl pattern? I said, it's tight. And she was like, yeah, I don't think I'd recommend that. You can do it if you want, but I want to recommend it because you're going to most likely have some heat damage because your curl's so tight. It takes a lot of heat to get that straighter look, even if you still want some texture still in it. And she said, I had it done twice and I had heat damage both times and regretted it. So she was like, I don't recommend it, but is your hair, if you really want to do it, then we'll do it. And I said, well, no, maybe not. She said, well, then you have natural or you have relaxed. I said, well, let's try a relaxer. But the first thing she did was she said, well, book an appointment and you come back, and when you do that, then I will wash your hair and we'll see what it looks like when it's wet. That's how she can really tell what the texture is. That's how she can start seeing if there's some damage or not. And so I went back, got the wash and the blow dry, and as she was looking at my hair wet, she was like, it's like, I think I see what one of the problems could be. She said, at the end, you've got some texture. At the top, you have some texture because it's, your new growth. And then in the middle, a little bit in the middle here, you have some really straight hair that has no elasticity. And I was like, that is where those two stylists messed up my hair. They went too straight. And so that's also where I was starting to see the breakage happening, where it wasn't happening at this line of demarcation between my relaxed and natural hair. It was happening in my natural hair, the hair that was straight. So I was like, seriously. So she's said, we can work to get you back to that texture that you had before. Which, I mean, it wasn't like curls. It was just, I had people who would come up to me and be like, are you natural or are you relaxed? And that's kind of where I want it to be. It's not curly. It's sort of slightly wavy. And so she said, it'll take a little bit of doing because we'll start with your first relaxer. It'll be a little less straight than that before. And then we'll slowly graduate it till it gets to where you want it to be. And then that's what we'll be doing from then on. But because your hair is longer, we may have to do it at a slower pace than normal. Another reason that I might have been having the issue was because of the changing between lye and no lye relaxers. It seems like from different stylists that I was going to over the past couple of years, some were using lye, some might have been using no lye, and so that was also a contributing factor to the breakage. So anyway, back to the whole thing about my hair being long and then having to, do this as a slow process to get back to where I want it to be. So I'll show you a picture. As you can see, my hair was like nicely below my shoulders, a pretty nice length, that pretty ponytail. It was gorgeous and everything. And I was like, you know what? Let's just chop that thing off. So I got a few inches, as you can see, cut off. I was just like, it'll be easier, it'll be quicker process to get to the texture that I want, back to that texture. And I can still style it, I can still wear ponytails, I can still clip it up, I can still do that kind of stuff. I can't do buns, but I can do all the other kinds of things, and it'll just be easier to manage. And it's funny, when she had cut it off and it was done, and I'm sitting there like, my head feels so much lighter. And she was like, well, yeah, that's because you got a lot of hair cut off. That's all the news that I have. That's what's going on with my hair right now. That's where my hair is right now. I will be providing intermittently, I don't have a schedule yet, of additional updates and news and things about my hair. And some products are now actually falling out of my regimen, and there's some products that have fallen in. So I will be providing some updates on that. But stay tuned to ARelaxedGal.com to see more, and also to my YouTube channel because there will be some more videos. Thanks for watching.